Okay, we will move on to number 13, council to receive an update regarding diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. And our presenters this evening are Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Director Ann Little and Human Relations Specialist Michael Brooks. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and members of Council, City Manager Greene, and Attorney Corrier. It is our pleasure to be here with you this evening. I'd like to start, Council, by saying thank you for leading by example. You embody the meaning of a Salisbury for all, and that's evidenced by recognitions like the Salisbury Pride Ally Award and the numerous group and individual awards that you as a council and as members have received. You work across this community quietly, sometimes unnoticed, but never unappreciated. Leadership sets the tone. And as Mayor likes to say, our audio has to match our video. That's a phrase that actually came from Mr. Willie Ratchford of WPR Consulting. He and Dr. Anthony Wade have provided support and counsel that exceed the terms of any contract and have been an invaluable resource. Thank you, Dr. Wade and Mr. Ratchford. And thank you, City Manager Jim Greene, for being a champion of this work and for being resolute in your support and expectations for Team Salisbury. And so this is the third straight year for this report from this department. And I have to say that we thrive on the partnerships, collaboration, and support of the city's department directors, my dynamic colleagues who make up the city's management team. And it is an absolute joy to serve with the amazing people who make up Team Salisbury. It is a great privilege and a monumental responsibility to serve the people of Salisbury. And none of this works without all of us. So I start with thank you. In November of 2023, it was our privilege to present the DEI Strategic Action Plan. And this strategic action plan we worked on, again, with the assistance and support of WPR Consulting. And this is our framework for an equitable workplace and community. And of course, the city's strategic plan was approved earlier this year. And diversity, equity, and inclusion are woven into those goals. And so together, these documents provide the directions for our journey. And so what I'd like to do now is to take some time, and we're going to present selected highlights from the year-end review. And we will also share some of the goals for the year ahead. A very comprehensive report has already been shared with Council, and that information will be put on the city's website. So, thank you. So, we're going to start with, again, some highlights from our human relations, from our department, our Human Relations Commission. But before we do that, there is a slide that talks a little bit specifically and definitively about the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Department accomplishments. And while I can't really count this as an achievement, the single greatest thing to happen to the city of Salisbury's DEI department has been the addition of Michael Brooks as Human Relations Specialist. Right. Michael is a gift not only for the DEI staff, but he is a gift to all of us. And his presence has allowed us to take our work to another dimension. So Michael is now going to start us off by sharing some updates from our Human Relations Commission.
Well, thank you, Ann. And before I get started, I want to say that I'm new to the city. As you know, I've just started January 8th, and I celebrated my 6-month anniversary last week. So I'm excited to be part of Team Salisbury, and I thank the City Council for your leadership. And before I talk more about the Human Relations Commission, I want to recognize we have two officers here. Our chairperson, Christina Rary, and our ex officio, Pastor D. Ellison, are back there. You want to wave? So I thank them for being here this evening as well. So on the screen are some of the accomplishments that the HRC has done over the past year, starting with our MLK celebration, MLK Junior celebration, which was the week that I was hired. So okay, well, my reel's going very fast on the first day. But we had a very successful event. Our parade had approximately 50 participants. We had a very well-attended resource fair and breakfast as well. And I want to thank the City Council for your support of that and all the city staff who helped with those events. We also had our EDK, Elizabeth Duncan Kuntz Humanitarian Award dinner. We awarded 5 members from the community. This year, David Wisnet, Emily Perry, Jason Walser, Edward and Susan Norville were the recipients of the Elizabeth Duncan Kuntz Humanitarian Award. And as a celebration of our 25th anniversary of that event, we invited all the past honorees to attend, and many of them did, and they were very appreciative of that. So that was a great event as well. Another of the accomplishments of the HRC is the Express, Educate, and Connect Community Roundtable that was held at Hood Theological Seminary and hosted by the HRC. And many of you were there as well, and you know that we had great discussions there, and that was a very well-attended event and an impactful event. And we'll talk about next steps with those roundtables a little later. We also attended state Human Relations Commission meetings in Fayetteville, Greensboro, and Gastonia, and those meetings were great opportunities to engage with other cities and learn best practices and talk about things that are going well and to share ideas. And then we participated in the United Way Day of Caring, and this year we were placed at Rowan Helping Ministries, and we picked up litter and helped paint a new fence that was built there. So those are some of the accomplishments of the HRC. On June 20th, the HRC had their annual retreat, and I thank Mayor Alexander and City Clerk Connie Snyder and Councilmember Anthony Smith for attending our retreat and for speaking at our retreat. But some of the goals that the HRC established for this coming year is expanding the programming around our MLK breakfast, sponsoring community dialogues for a cross-section of the community, help improve access to the right to read for children and adults. And I do want to recognize Councilman Anthony Smith for his leadership in that regard with starting the silent read-ins that are happening at Belltower Greene. Another goal is to improve access and advocacy for mental health resources, to participate in local and statewide meetings and training sessions, and to continue the work of the community roundtables. So those are some of our accomplishments of the HRC. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. So I'll spend a little time now just talking about some of the staff and operational highlights that we had. And of course, we welcomed Michael Brooks to the team. We completed the DEI Strategic Action Plan and began implementations of the items in that plan. During last year, we completed full diversity, equity, and inclusion training for staff, for City Council, and for the Human Relations Commission. And I am excited, I am delighted to share that we have started staff bias training sessions for this year. And we have already trained most of the staff, have management team and council sessions scheduled. Our initial review of selected policies and practices is in progress. And 2 exciting new pilots that we have started are the development of a mentoring program pilot, which we're working on with a team of colleagues from across the city. And this is significant because this request was born from our employee advisory group. And employees requested that, we look into starting a mentoring program, and we're very proud to be able to play a part in getting that started. Another initiative is called our Employee Shared Interest Groups, where employees have the opportunity, employees with similar interest, have the opportunity to meet and to engage For now, our reading group has been the most popular group, and it is for employees. They schedule when they're going to read and how those shared interest group, how that time goes. The reading group has been a big success. We've got a sports group that is in the works and several ideas. Employees will initiate starting the group with a minimum of 5 members, and the DEI office will just support them with logistics. But this is for employees to, again, opportunities to bring people with similar interests together. And one of the things that we did, responded to a community group alert and worked with human resources to remove barriers from the city application. We were actually called out in the newspaper and called out by a local organization because our employment application contained information that was determined to be a contributing factor to the gender pay gap. And as soon as that information was brought to our attention, we were able to work with our Human Resources Director, Ruth Kennerly, and her team, and were able to immediately make the changes that we needed to our application to ensure that that barrier, that piece that could unfairly impact particularly female applicants was removed. And we also we participated in several hiring processes, and our staff is growing. The richness, the fullness, the diversity of our staff is growing. And if you look at our management team alone, we have grown in all levels of diversity as a management team. And I mean gender, I mean age, I mean race, years of service. We have grown, and so very pleased to be a part of those hiring processes. And some of the highlights of our community activities, by far the partnership with our police department and the cultivating community conversations. We held several of those conversations during the course of the year, and we were able to bridge some gaps and to connect residents. One of the outcomes that we've gotten out of that is when residents who now have issues, as opposed to public comment or having to come here, they've got somebody that they can call. And we've been able to bridge some gaps and make some relationships. And again, just salute Chief Smith and the department for the work of those conversations. But those have been very successful. We were very proud to work behind the scenes on the facilitation and coordination of the Community Roundtable on Public Safety. Lots of volunteer work in our local elementary schools. Very proud of our role in planning the Minority Business Trade Show and our sponsorship and participation of that. Again, another thing that we're very proud of is that as it relates to the community is partnership with Racial Equity Rowan and ensuring that we are participating and supporting the efforts of Racial Equity Rowan. We had staff participate in the Deconstructing Racism workshop and do have staff again to participate this year. And again, it was great to be a part of the Rowan County DEI Collaborative. And again, throughout the course of the year, we had some opportunities to participate in conferences, workshops, and affiliate events across the country and across the state. We were pleased to be a presenter at Rowan Cabarrus's Guide Conference, pleased to have a city presence at the Concord Historically Underutilized Business Fair, and are frequently called on, to serve on hiring teams across the state. And so these are just some of the other things that we have done. And so, the year ahead. Let's talk a little bit about some of our goals for the year ahead. One of our primary goals is to continue the Salisbury Police Department cultivating community conversations, and our partner focus will be with Salisbury Pride, with our older adults, and with college students. As outlined in our strategic plan, we're working on launching a community conversation series with Salisbury Fire Department. We are working as a team to develop and implement opportunities for staff to have more input in the programming that we do internally. And of course, our staff and education sessions will continue, and we'll continue to support departments. We want to work as a team also to look at how we are supporting our community events, to ensure that whatever support we provide, we are supporting at the same level for all organizations that we support. So I'm thankful for Assistant City Manager Kelly Baker and others who will be assisting us with that. And we will identify the next areas and round of policy and practice reviews. And we want to find more opportunities to engage and support diversity, equity, and inclusion across the community. I put these two special events here. They are significant in that we have been invited to present at the new Hanover County Equity and Inclusion Summit. And the title of the session that we have been invited to participate in is called Show and Tell. And we were invited to share good news, to share the good things that we are doing here in Salisbury with diversity, equity, and inclusion. And we're especially proud of that. We're also especially proud that the city will host the fourth quarter meeting of the North Carolina Human Relations Commission's statewide meeting of human relations and DEI professionals. We will host that event here in November, and once again, it is an opportunity for us to showcase, and it is an opportunity for us to share. And so, again, some of the alliances and memberships that we're a part of, and I'd like to just pause for a moment to see if you have any questions.
Thank you, Ann. Great presentation.
I've had the privilege of attending 3 of these community conversations, and they have been well attended. And I know from speaking with the community members that were there, they are very appreciative of it, and I'm looking forward to continuing the series, and I appreciate the partnership with the police department as well.
And our consultants.
Yes.
Willie. Yes, thank you very much. Excellent work. And that has been very important too, to have that kind of support for our staff. Good work.